Emotional pain from love can affect physical health far more than most people realize. When we say someone is heartbroken, we're not just using poetry, we're describing a real biological experience. The body and mind are not separate worlds, they are one continuous system of reactions, signals, and chemistry. When love collapses, the emotional distress triggers a storm inside the body. You might feel heaviness in your chest, nausea, headaches, or sudden exhaustion. These aren't random symptoms, they're the body's way of responding to emotional trauma. Much like it would respond to physical harm, when you lose someone you love or experience rejection, your brain perceives it as danger. The same fight or flight system that evolved to protect you from predators activates in response to heartbreak. Your adrenal glands flood your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate rises. Your digestion slows down. Your immune system weakens. You might catch colds more easily, feel aches and pains that weren't there before, or find that your energy simply vanishes. This is why heartbreak feels so physical. It's not just sadness, it's a cascade of physiological responses. Studies have shown that emotional distress, especially from lost love, increases inflammation in the body and alters the way your heart beats. People who've gone through painful breakups sometimes report chest pain so severe they believe they're having a heart attack. Doctors have even given it a name: stress-induced cardiomyopathy or broken heart syndrome. The emotional shock temporarily stuns the heart muscle, showing that our emotions truly can injure our bodies. Think about how many times we've heard someone say they can't eat, can't sleep, or can't think straight after love falls apart. Those aren't exaggerations, they're physiological effects of emotional trauma. Love, when it's stable and healthy, lowers stress hormones and boosts oxytocin, bonding hormone. But when it's lost or turns toxic, those same systems reverse. Oxytocin drops, cortisol rises, and your body feels the strain. What's even more striking is how this kind of pain lingers. A bruise fades, a bone heals, but the emotional body holds on longer. Each memory, song, scent connected to that person can re-trigger the same physical stress response. You might find your heartbeat quicken or your stomach twist at just the thought of what once was. That's not weakness, it's the body remembering the wound. So yes, emotional pain from love can absolutely affect physical health. It's not all in your head, it's in your nervous system, your hormones, your sleep cycles, and even your immune function. The connection between heart and body is as real as any muscle or organ. And the first step toward healing is recognizing that what you're feeling isn't imaginary, it's biology. It's your body calling out for care, for rest, and for compassion. Just as the body responds to love with vitality, it also responds to loss with pain. But both are part of the same truth, that love, in all its power, touches every part of who we are, mind, body. Heartbreak activates the same brain areas as physical injury, and that's one of the most fascinating and painful truths about human emotion. When scientists put people who've just gone through a breakup under a brain scanner, they discovered something remarkable. The same regions that light up when you experience physical pain also activate when you experience emotional rejection or loss. The brain doesn't differentiate between a cut on your skin and a cut to your heart. To your mind, pain is pain. This is why the ache of heartbreak feels so consuming. It's not simply sadness or disappointment. It's the brain sending pain signals through your body as if you've been physically hurt. The anterior cingulate cortex, the part responsible for processing both emotional and physical pain, goes into overdrive. The result, that deep, throbbing ache in your chest, the pressure behind your eyes, the lump in your throat. These sensations are your brain's way of telling you something is wrong, that a part of you is injured and needs attention. What's even more interesting is that emotional pain can last longer than physical pain because the mind replays it. A broken bone heals, but a memory can re-injure you over and over again. Every reminder, every photo, every message, every place you once shared can reactivate those same neural pathways. It's as if the brain keeps reopening the wound, searching for resolution that never quite comes. You might notice how your body responds. Your chest tightens, your stomach drops, your breathing changes. Those aren't coincidences. The nervous system reacts as if the danger is happening right now. That's why heartbreak can cause sleepless nights, loss of appetite, or sudden waves of exhaustion. Your brain is fighting an invisible battle, trying to protect you from something it can't physically escape. Some studies even show that painkillers like acetaminophen can slightly reduce the emotional ache of heartbreak. Think about that for a moment. The same medication we use for headaches or muscle soreness can dull emotional pain. That's how closely intertwined the two are. It doesn't mean love should be avoided. It means love is powerful enough to reach into the deepest layers of our biology. So when someone says their heart hurts after losing someone, believe them. That pain is not weakness or exaggeration. It's evidence of how deeply the human brain connects love, loss, and survival. It's a reminder that emotions aren't abstract feelings floating somewhere in our minds. They are real physical experiences that shape how we live, breathe, and heal. And just like any physical injury, a love injury needs care, patience, and time to mend. Chronic stress from failed relationships weakens immunity, and that's a reality that most people don't fully grasp. When love turns painful, it's not just your mind that suffers, your body's defense systems do too. Stress hormones like cortisol flood your bloodstream, preparing you for danger that isn't really there. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your body is on high alert. But while this emergency mode might help you survive a real threat when it's triggered constantly by emotional turmoil, it becomes a silent attacker on your health. Prolonged stress suppresses your immune system. White blood cells, which are supposed to fight infections, become less effective. That means you're more likely to catch colds, the flu, or other illnesses. Your body's inflammatory response increases, which can aggravate conditions like arthritis, cardiovascular problems, digestive issues. In essence, heartbreak and emotional turmoil are not just mental experiences, they are physical ones that can leave you more vulnerable to disease. Think about it this way: each argument, betrayal, or heartbreak is like adding weight to a backpack you didn't choose to carry. Your body is forced to carry that burden every single day. Sleep becomes restless, your appetite can vanish or spike unpredictably, and your energy drains faster than ever before. And the longer the stress continues, the more your body adapts to being on edge, making it harder to recover even after the relationship ends. This isn't a sign that you're weak, it's how biology works. The mind and body are inseparable. Emotional stress triggers chemical reactions that affect every organ system, and love injuries are no exception. But here's the hopeful part. Just like your immune system can weaken, it can also rebuild. Mindful practices like meditation, gentle exercise, proper nutrition, and restorative sleep help reset the stress response. Emotional support from friends, family, or even a therapist strengthens your resilience. The lesson is clear. Ignoring heartbreak doesn't just prolong emotional pain. It compromises your body's ability to fight off real threats. Taking care of yourself after a failed relationship isn't indulgent. It's essential. Your body deserves the same attention, compassion, and healing that you would give a physical injury. By addressing both the emotional and physiological impact of love injuries, you reclaim your strength, protect your health, and prepare yourself to love and live fully again. Emotional trauma can trigger hormonal imbalances, and this is something most people never consider when they think about love gone wrong. When a relationship fails or turns toxic, your body doesn't just react with sadness or anxiety, it reacts with a full-scale chemical response. Hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, and even insulin spike or drop unpredictably, creating a cascade of effects that influence your mood, energy, and overall health. For example, high cortisol from prolonged stress doesn't just make you feel tense or irritable. It can suppress thyroid function, affect blood sugar levels, and disrupt reproductive hormones. That's why people going through heartbreak often experience fatigue, changes in weight, or even shifts in libido. Your body is literally out of balance, trying to cope with the emotional upheaval it wasn't built to process over long periods of time. Even hormones that are normally associated with love and bonding, like oxytocin and dopamine, can take a hit. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, decreases when attachment is broken, leaving you feeling isolated, anxious, or unable to trust easily. Dopamine, the reward hormone that once made you feel excitement and pleasure with that person, can drop sharply, creating an emotional low that mimics withdrawal symptoms. It's not exaggeration. Your body is experiencing a chemical hangover from the love that's been lost. This imbalance can also exacerbate mental health challenges. Anxiety can spike unexpectedly, depression can settle in more deeply, and sleep cycles become erratic. The body and mind feed off each other, and when one is in chaos, the other often follows. That's why heartbreak isn't just an emotional experience, it's a full body experience affecting everything from energy levels to cognitive function. The good news is that hormonal balance can be restored. Physical activity, exposure to sunlight, proper nutrition, and mindfulness practices help regulate the stress response and stabilize your hormones. Even small daily habits, like going for a walk, connecting with supportive friends, or practicing gratitude, can nudge your body back toward equilibrium. Understanding that heartbreak impacts hormones reminds us why self-care isn't optional, it's essential. You can't heal your mind while neglecting your body because they are intrinsically linked. When you take care of your physical health while navigating emotional pain, you give yourself a powerful advantage, the ability to recover faster, rebuild confidence, prepare for love in a way that nourishes both heart and body. Love injuries can lead to anxiety, depression, and even heart disease. And this is where the consequences of heartbreak become truly serious. When emotional pain lingers, it doesn't stay confined to your thoughts. It infiltrates your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, overall well-being. The stress of rejection or betrayal is not just fleeting sadness, it's a prolonged assault on your body and mind. Anxiety often emerges first. You might notice constant worry, racing thoughts, or an inability to focus. This is your body stuck in fight or flight mode, perceiving danger even when none exists. Your heart may pound for no reason, your hands may tremble. You may feel restless at night. Over time, this chronic anxiety becomes exhausting, leaving you physically depleted and emotionally vulnerable. Depression can follow or appear alongside anxiety. Persistent sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest in activities you once enjoyed are common signs. Your body's stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated. Serotonin, the hormone associated with happiness, drops. This chemical imbalance can make the pain feel unending, and without attention, the emotional weight can become heavier with each passing day. Heart disease is a more surprising but scientifically documented consequence. Broken heart syndrome, also called stress-induced cardiomyopathy, demonstrates that extreme emotional stress can literally stun the heart, leading to chest pain, irregular heartbeats, and even heart failure in severe cases. Chronic stress from unresolved heartbreak can also elevate blood pressure and increase inflammation, both of which are risk factors for long-term cardiovascular problems. Many people underestimate the danger because they think emotional pain isn't real health-wise. But every sleepless night, every wave of panic, every moment of despair triggers a physiological response. The body is under stress, and the heart, the literal organ as well as the metaphorical one, is deeply affected. The key takeaway is that heartbreak is not just a matter of emotional inconvenience, it's a full body event. Recognizing the connection between love injuries and physical health is the first step toward recovery. Mindful practices, therapy, social support, and stress-reducing activities aren't just ways to feel better mentally, they are essential tools for protecting your heart both emotionally and physically. By treating heartbreak as seriously as any physical injury, you give yourself the chance to recover fully, regain emotional stability, and prevent long-term health consequences. Love may hurt. With awareness and care, you can heal stronger, wiser, and healthier than before. Healthy self-love promotes faster emotional healing. It's one of the most powerful tools you can wield after a love injury. When a relationship ends or turns painful, many people instinctively look outward for validation, comfort, or distraction. They search for someone else to fix the emptiness or to fill the void. But true healing begins by turning inward, by recognizing that your own love and care are what will restore balance to your heart and body. Self-love is not about selfishness or arrogance. It's about acknowledging your worth and meeting your own emotional needs. It's the decision to treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a close friend who is hurting. It's allowing yourself to feel the pain without judgment, giving yourself permission to cry, to rest, and to process the heartbreak fully. When you practice self-love, you provide your body with the psychological safety it needs to stop sending constant stress signals. Your nervous system begins to calm, your hormones begin to stabilize, and your mind starts to regain clarity. Practical self-love can take many forms. It might be dedicating time each day to reflection, journaling your emotions, or practicing mindfulness. It could be engaging in physical activity that strengthens your body and releases stress, like walking, yoga, or swimming. It might involve setting aside moments to pursue hobbies, passions, or creative expression that remind you of your individuality. All of these actions signal to your body and brain that you are safe, valued, and capable of nurturing yourself. One of the most transformative aspects of self-love is the restoration of boundaries. When you value yourself, you learn to protect your emotional space. You become less willing to tolerate toxic behavior, manipulation, or relationships that drain your energy. You cultivate resilience not by avoiding pain, but by recognizing your limits and asserting them with kindness and clarity. Books like Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach and The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown explore this concept deeply, showing that healing comes not from external approval, but from cultivating a sense of worthiness and compassion within yourself. Your heart doesn't just mend, it grows stronger, more resilient, and more attuned to the love that deserves to enter your life. By prioritizing self-love, you accelerate recovery from heartbreak. You reduce the physical and emotional strain, restore hormonal balance, and regain mental clarity. Most importantly, you reclaim control over your life. Love injuries may have knocked you down, but self-love gives you the strength to rise, not just healed, but empowered to embrace life fully again. Learning boundaries prevents emotional overexposure, and it's a lesson that heartbreak teaches more painfully than almost anything else. When we love deeply, it's easy to give without restraint, to sacrifice our needs for someone else, or to tolerate behavior that chips away at our self-respect. But every time we ignore our limits, we risk creating wounds that linger long after the relationship ends. Emotional overexposure can leave us drained, anxious, and vulnerable to further pain. Boundaries aren't walls, they're guidelines that protect your energy, your mental health, and your emotional well-being. Setting boundaries means recognizing what feels safe, healthy, and respectful for you, and being willing to communicate and enforce that. It's saying no when you need to, walking away when something is harmful, and refusing to tolerate repeated emotional harm. This is not rejection of others, it's acceptance of yourself. It's a declaration that your emotions, your time, and your health matter. Without boundaries, the stress of heartbreak can compound. You might replay painful conversations, overanalyze interactions, or allow yourself to be drawn back into situations that reopen old wounds. Each instance of overexposure reinforces the trauma, keeping your nervous system on high alert, your cortisol levels elevated, and your heart and mind in a constant state of tension. Learning boundaries also helps rebuild self-trust. When you honor your limits, you send a powerful message to yourself: I am in charge of my emotional life. I will protect myself. Over time, this strengthens your resilience. You become less likely to be manipulated, less likely to accept relationships that drain you, and more likely to recognize when love is truly healthy and reciprocal. Setting boundaries isn't easy, especially if you've spent years prioritizing someone else's needs above your own, but it's essential for recovery. Start small. Identify areas where you feel overextended or unsafe, and make deliberate choices to reclaim your emotional space. Communicate clearly and consistently. And remember, each time you honor a boundary, you are healing not just emotionally, but physically. Your stress levels decrease, your sleep improves, and your body begins to feel safe again. Boundaries don't make you cold or unloving. They make you strong, self-aware, and capable of maintaining healthy connections. By learning to protect yourself, you prevent future love injuries, reduce the risk of chronic stress, and create the conditions for lasting emotional and physical well-being. True healing involves both emotional and physical care, and it's a principle that many people overlook when recovering from heartbreak. Too often, we think of healing as purely emotional, processing feelings, reflecting on the past, or seeking closure. While those steps are essential, they're only half the equation. Your body holds trauma just as much as your mind does, and without caring for both, recovery remains incomplete. Emotional care means allowing yourself to feel fully: sadness, anger, regret, even relief, without judgment. It's journaling your thoughts, talking with trusted friends, or seeking therapy to process the layers of your experience. Suppressing emotions only prolongs stress, keeping your nervous system on high alert and preventing the release of tension that your body desperately needs. Emotional care is about creating safe spaces where your heart can slowly, intentionally mend. Physical care is equally critical. Heartbreak triggers real physiological responses: elevated stress hormones, weakened immunity, disrupted sleep, and even cardiovascular strain. Caring for your body signals to your brain that it's safe to downshift out of fight or flight mode. Simple practices: regular exercise, nourishing meals, proper hydration, and restorative sleep help reduce inflammation, regulate hormones, and restore energy. Even gentle movement like walking or yoga releases endorphins that lift mood and calm anxiety. When you combine emotional and physical care, the effects are amplified. Meditation or deep breathing exercises can soothe the nervous system while strengthening mental focus. A walk outside in sunlight can improve vitamin D levels and stimulate serotonin production, supporting both mood and immune function. Practicing mindfulness while engaging in physical activity helps you reconnect with your body, reinforcing the idea that you are whole, capable, and resilient. The key is integration, treating your mind and body as interconnected systems. Heartbreak may begin as an emotional injury, but its effects ripple through your entire being. By addressing both dimensions, you accelerate healing, reduce the risk of long-term stress-related illnesses, and regain a sense of balance and vitality. Remember, love injuries may feel overwhelming because they touch every part of you. But through intentional emotional and physical care, you reclaim control, restore strength, and create a foundation for healthier, more resilient connections in the future. Turning regret into growth builds emotional resilience and strength, and it's the final transformative step in recovering from love injuries. Regret is a natural companion after heartbreak. We replay decisions, wonder what we could have done differently, and feel the weight of lost opportunities. Left unchecked, it can become a source of chronic stress, self-criticism, and stagnation. But when approached consciously, regret becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor. The first step is perspective. Recognize that every relationship, no matter how painful, provides lessons. Perhaps you learn more about your boundaries, about the type of love that serves you, or about patterns you've repeated. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, shift your focus to what you can carry forward. Ask yourself, how can this experience make me stronger, wiser, and more resilient? Growth also comes from self-compassion. You may have made mistakes, said things you regret, trusted the wrong person, but acknowledging that you acted with the knowledge and resources you had at the time is crucial. Forgive yourself for choices made in the past. They were part of your learning curve. This forgiveness lightens the emotional load, allowing you to move forward without carrying unnecessary baggage. Practical growth often means creating new habits or mindsets. Perhaps you practice journaling to understand your emotional triggers or mindfulness to prevent rumination. Maybe you engage in new activities that boost your confidence or surround yourself with supportive people who reinforce your worth. Each step strengthens your mental and emotional muscles, making you more resilient to future heartbreak and more capable of cultivating healthy relationships. Even the physical effects of regret, stress, insomnia, and tension diminish when you transform your mindset. Your nervous system calms, stress hormones lower, and your body can finally recover from the strain of lingering emotional pain. Turning regret into growth is not about erasing the past, it's about reclaiming your power in the present and shaping a stronger, more confident future. Ultimately, love injuries may hurt more than your heart, but they also offer an extraordinary opportunity, the chance to rebuild yourself, strengthen your resilience, and learn to love in a way that honors both your heart and your health. When you embrace the lessons within regret, you don't just heal, you evolve. And that evolution is the foundation for a life filled with deeper self-awareness, greater emotional intelligence, and a love that truly nurtures your soul.